Legend Total here, and today we've got a rating your Doomstack video covering 20 Black Orcs. So Grimgor is a Black Orc, and he has 19 Black Orc Big Bosses. And we're going up against a High Elf army where it's pretty much just, it's like 2 full stacks and a bit. There's some high tier stuff in here, there's some low tier stuff there. It's not 4 full stacks, but since these guys don't passively regenerate, we can get an idea as to how much they could actually take out. Like, if they managed to do all of this and barely take a scratch, then you'd be like, yeah, they could probably have taken on 4 full stacks. Whereas if they go up against these 2 stacks and basically get the ass kicked out of them, then you know that they wouldn't be able to take on any more. So we'll just see how we go. Anyway, let's just jump in here and see how they perform. So, this is going to be a very brainless fight. We just go into melee. They're all on foot, which I think is the right call to make in the situation here, because when you're going up against a heavy missile faction, you really want to make your units as difficult as possible to hit, and they might not even shoot at all, because it is very hard battle difficulty, and the AI will not shoot at small single entities. They just won't do it. So, all their archers are made useless. But we'll see how they fare against, like, dragons and other things. Because, yeah, we don't always have to go up against 4 full stacks to determine whether a Doomstack is good. We just need to get a feel for it, a proper test. Sometimes if you've got, like unlimited amounts of regeneration, you kind of do need to go up against 4 full stacks, because part of the test is testing how much they can regenerate. But since the greenskins have no ability to use magic for healing, then this is fine. This as far as I'm aware. Now, they do have quite a lot of potions of healing in here, but I think it's important that we don't use any of them until after the battle's actually over. So some of them are faster than others. This guy here, he must be fleet-footed. So looking at their levels, yeah, high enough levels that they're effectively at maximum strength. They're just waiting for their reinforcements, so I think they're on the attack, aren't they? So, typical sort of situation, guy besieges the settlement and just waits for the enemy to launch the attack. We'll just wait for them. I'm not going to go into the trees, because that'll give us the advantage. And I just don't feel like we need to. We want to put these guys here to the test. If I felt like they needed the trees, then I'd do that, but no, I don't think they need it. But yeah, I think it was the right call to not put them on their mounts here. If you're going up against a faction that doesn't have any access to archers, such as like Khorne or Slaanesh or the vampire counts, then yeah, sure, put them on their mounts if you want. But typically speaking, horse-sized mounts, which include boars, actually make them worse fighters, because what ends up happening is it increases your hitbox. So, it makes it so that more smaller entities can hit you at any given time. So the smaller you are, the stronger you are in many ways, because it makes it harder to hit. This is why goblins are so goddamn deadly, especially goblin heroes. Okay, they will actually shoot at us. That's, I guess if there's... This is on very high battle difficulty. I'll definitely check. Let me just check again. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised that they're shooting us. Maybe if you only have single entities, then they'll shoot. So Grimgor is... yeah, pretty much immune to these missiles. I wouldn't worry about him. But yeah, as with all single entity hero stacks, you really want to make sure they stay together as much as possible. And so far, it just doesn't seem like they're doing any serious damage to us. And we can pretty much just cycle through all the smash and fasters. When this one expires, then pop down another one, and the next one.
Biggest, brutalist orc. Check out my weapon.
Wait for that to expire. Good, they're kicking the ass of the phoenixes. So yeah, I shouldn't have to give them any more attack orders in this battle. Okay, that expired. Smash them faster. Oh, what? No. You should never bring a banner of eternal flame against high elves. I didn't think to take it off. It's not going to be that bad, but we should... That's actually not going to help us here. The Arcane Phoenix isn't going to take that much damage from us. But yeah, that's actually detrimental for us here. I really should have taken that off. Never bring flaming attacks against high elves. Never. Jeez, they're still hitting hard enough that it's... Because this has got, well, it's only 40% physical, flame resistance. That's not that bad. I thought it was 70. This one here is a bit isolated from the pack. Try to get it a little bit more over here. But the problem is it's going to be a bit stuck. Get rid of this damn dragon.
Ready for war! Biggest, brutally stone! Blood!
So yeah, very easy armor to use. Just need to keep an eye on these abilities here, just so it's constantly active. Pump up that weapon strength. Don't need to worry too much about archers shooting into us. They're probably doing just as much damage to their own units. Plus the Black Orc big bosses have got shields. Grimgore doesn't, but he's basically immune to missile fire. So it's about to expire, and then pop the next one. These two over here, a bit isolated.
Ready for war! Biggest, brutally stone!
Should have been using that Helm of Discord a bit earlier. So this guy here, yeah, just isolated. Just gotta watch out for lopsided damage. And in case you're wondering, if you pop these all down at the same time, it does nothing. You just want to pop them down one at a time. Get over here, boys.
Chop him up! Ready to kill! For the king! Who that I clobber! Biggest, brutally stalk! Fights in his life!
So looking at them, they're all dishing out a decent number of kills. The damage isn't too bad. Yeah, so they can take out single entities pretty easily. Even if they've got a strength against us. I'm actually quite surprised at how easily they took out the Arcane Phoenixes there. Actually, I think it's just that one. Still pretty impressed with how they took it out. Because they've all got flaming attacks because of this one here. Yeah, I should have taken that off. But that was just how the save file was sent in. Yeah, this is a saving your disaster battle. I usually don't really pay much attention to the banners. And even then, sometimes I don't pay attention to them. But yeah, you gotta be careful with this one when dealing with high elves. So yeah, now they've just got a bunch of archers that we can't really catch up to. They're just avoiding us. So we go after the stuff that we can hit. But it's still really important that we stick together. Dragon doesn't stand a chance. Yeah. That's it. Eat him up. Cool. Alright, so with the amount of damage that we took, we'll have a look at it. And this one here took the most damage. Shame that this one here didn't have a potion of healing. I know he's got quite a few of them. Grimgor barely took any damage. Did 20,000 damage in return. But what you can do in Warhammer 3 is, if you're going into a battle slightly damaged, just put the potions of healing on the damaged ones as needed. Because yeah, you got a lot of them. But yeah, without any access for healing magic or actual regeneration, you're always going to end up with some units damaged. That's just always going to happen. So the big question here is, how do we rate something like this? It did pretty well, for sure, but it was only 2 full stacks. Could it have handled another stack? Yeah, it probably could have. Could it have handled 4 full stacks? I'd say it probably could have won against 4 full stacks of similar strength high elves. Definitely would have been better to take off that banner there. I don't think that was helping at all. Sure, it gives us extra weapon strength, but losing it, you would just lose that and more if they have any flame resistance. And also, it's non-armor piercing damage when you've got mostly armor piercing, so it's not really increasing your weapon strength by very much. I guess that's maybe one of the reasons why I put it up against the high elves. Wanted to really test it out with like extreme weaknesses. But that being said, if we have a look at it, only the Arcane Phoenix would have been resistant to the damage, and they only had 1 of them. I'm not seeing any regular Phoenixes or Dragon Princes, which are also really resistant to it. Dragons are not resistant to flame attacks. Well, all that for 25 scrap. So, with the new rating system, how do we go about this? Let's just get through the rest of this turn. Oh, we were the attacker? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. I thought I was doing the end turn, so we were actually the attacker in that situation. Well, that makes a little bit more sense why they didn't rush at us at the start. Okay. So, leveling up Grimgor, I'm pretty sure you can't go wrong with him. He's not a spellcaster. This all seems fine. You know, the red line here is pretty much pointless apart from getting to smash him faster, which you didn't need at all because they've all got it. But that being said, what else could you have really gotten? Yeah, like, you've gotten his entire melee line sorted. You want some more blue line? Pfft, what for? Bellower's not needed. Neither is Tunnel Boss, not really. So, yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here that you didn't need, but there's also plenty of redundancy allowed. As for equipment, it's fine. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad he didn't get Sword of Cain. All of these guys here have at least some equipment. Some of them quite good equipment. It's only turn 113, which isn't too late in the campaign. Now, first thing is deciding whether or not this is practical or not. So we have a look at a province, right? How do we increase capacity for Black Orc big bosses? We do that at tier 3. So you can technically do it at minor cities. So you could get this reasonably early. If you really pushed for it, you could do it reasonably early. How's the cost of it? So 343, how many supply lines we're at? Huge number of supply lines. So it's actually not that expensive. Yeah, well, that's actually a lot of income coming through. So, well, he's got a lot of territory, I suppose. But yeah, unusual to see that as greenskins. So it's not overly expensive. Not cheap, but not overly expensive either. So in terms of practicality, I'd say it's somewhere like a medium sort of practicality. Not optimal to do it, by any means. You're probably still better off using goblins in the earlier stages of the campaign. But in the later stages of the campaign, depending on what your settings are for the endgame crisis, this could really help you chunk down shitloads of garbage armies, one after another, after another, after another, and just like switching out the potions of healing where needed, help you to just grind them down. Whereas a goblin army would take on one and then basically need to be completely re-recruited. So in the later stages of the campaign, depending on your endgame crisis setting, this could be very practical. But in the early stages of the campaign, I probably wouldn't worry about it. This is normally around the time that you would start seeing the endgame crisis, which I have no idea what he's got set up for this. But I know based on the save files that are being sent in, a lot of you guys are going with fairly early ultimate crisis, endgame crisis. So if you're playing greenskins, that could help you out with that. In terms of overall strength, it is very strong. yeah, it's just super, super strong. I'm not going to give numbers out anymore. You guys can do your own numbers, stuff from here on out. Because, like, if I be like, if I say, I think it's a 9 out of 10, someone be like, it's not a 9 out of 10, it's clearly an 8.756. You know, shut the fuck up, okay? Just no more numbers, okay? It's strong. Very, very strong. It can handle 4 full stacks. As for a number, decide whatever you want. You saw how they performed. You know, it's obviously strong. How easy is it to use this? Extremely easy. I didn't need to keep doing those abilities. I could have put it on cinematic mode and just watched them keep fighting. Because at the end of the day, if one of them got wounded, they come back in a couple of turns anyway. They're all immortal. The only way for me to kill them is if I disband them. In fact, this is Grimgore's Da Immortals, although you can't use his banner. So I guess in terms of practicality, it might have been better if he had thrown one Black Orc, like if he had done this.
I know I could stop
If he
me.
had, oh, you don't have. I was gonna just recruit the Crimson Killers in here, but yeah, if he had the Crimson Killer, because it's not. Hang on, let me just see. This might work.
Morg's fist. That's what Morg wants.
This might work here. Strong in auto resolve as well. Right, that's how you make it so much money. Because you got so many of those money banners, you just get like money buildings. It increases the amount of money you make from sacking it. That's actually a ridiculous amount. Yeah, greenskins are not poor in Warhammer 3. So they must already be somewhere else. The Crimson Killers. I didn't know. So yeah, you could have the Crimson Killers among here, and if these were all disciplined and confident, which I didn't have a look at that actually. I don't think he bothered trait farming. So yeah, some of them are disciplined. But yeah, if you had the Crimson Killers in here, you'd essentially have, you know, a bunch of Black Orcs that couldn't be killed. Unless their morale really dropped down low, which is possible. So you've also got the bigger Scalies trophies. So that's what's giving 15% physical resistance to all armies. So they're benefiting from that. That's probably the strongest of the trophies, I think. The bigger Scalies trophy. That's a really, really good one. So yeah. So in summary, is it practical? Sort of mid-practical. You know, not you have to get this as soon as possible, and neither is it absurd to try to get it. You know, medium sort of practicality. How strong is it? Stupidly strong. Very, very strong. I can't really imagine it struggling against anything in Warhammer 3. It should be able to handle 4 full stacks of pretty much anything. What it wouldn't be able to handle is dealing with wave after wave of end turn stuff. So you need to make sure that you're the attacker in as many situations as possible so that you can keep fighting new battles so that you can access the Potion of Healing. That's its biggest weakness. It can get ground down over time. You know, if it doesn't get a chance to heal. Because that replenishment rate doesn't look too good, but at the same time it's red territory out here, so that's hurting the replenishment rate. And it's stupidly easy to use. You don't have to use the abilities, really. You can just click, put on cinematic mode, go take a shit, and come back and win the battle. It's really that easy. It's absolutely brainless. So that's my rating of it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you want to give it a number, you're more than happy to do it, but I'm not giving numbers out for these anymore because numbers are arbitrary. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for sending this save file in, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.